All right, so let's get going with a warm up. We're gonna just start with a little boxer shuffle. So I want you just kind of bouncing from heel to toe. You can get the arms going with it if you want to too. If you want to throw some punches to get some of that aggression out that maybe is pent up from some of the stuff that's been happening in the world lately, feel free to do that as well. We're gonna stay here for about another 20 seconds. And then we're going to get into a couple ankle pulls. So we'll get into those now. So pick a leg to start with. We're going to work on a little bit of balance here. I want you to grab the ankle, not the toe, and the knee. Pull it up, hold it for a second, bring it back down, move it to the other side. So get a little bit of external rotation of that hip. Hopefully you're feeling a good stretch in the glute. We're going to do about 5 of these on each side. Don't feel like you have to keep count. I'll do that for you. You're following along with me. Let's go one more on each side from wherever you're at now. Perfect. Next, we're going to do what's called the world's greatest stretch. We're going to step forward into a lunge. As we do that, we're going to sink the elbow down towards the floor. Don't feel like you have to get all the way down, but if you can, do that. Then we're going to take the arm, we're going to thread it up towards the ceiling. And then the last thing is we're going to push the floor away from us, get that hamstring stretched, and then step up. There's a lot going on there, so let's run through it again on the other leg. Step it forward, sink down, try to keep that back knee up. You're going to get a hip flexor stretch there, elbow to the floor. Bring it up towards the ceiling, push the floor away from you, and then come on up. We're going to do 3 all together. That's 1 on each side. So going again. You notice we're not holding any one position too long. We don't want to do any super long static stretching prior to a workout. We know that hinders performance. All right, I've got 2 on each side. Let's do 1 more on each side from wherever you're at now. Elbow comes down. We thread it up. We follow with our sight. Hands come down. Push the floor away from you. Step back up. Last one on the other leg. Stepping forward. Elbow comes down. Reach it up. Push it away. Very nice. All right, last one. Or second to last one. Bring that foot out. Pull the toe towards you. We're going to keep our chest up as we sweep the floor. Don't feel like you need to get all the way down to the floor. Get as far down as you can without giving up your back. And then these are called grass grabbers. We're just alternating legs, feeling that stretch in the hamstring. And then 1 more on each side. Perfect. Now we're going to take it to a inchworm, but we're not going to do a traditional inchworm. We're going to walk our hands out into the top of a push-up. So go ahead and bring your hands down. Keep those knees straight. Walk it out. Give me a push-up in the bottom here. If you need to drop to your knees, you can do that. Come back up. Push your hands back to get you to standing. We're going to do 3 total. You got 1. We're going out for 2 now. And 1 more. Excellent. All right, y'all, grab a little bit of water. It's a good idea to have a towel handy. You don't need one, but it will certainly help. And then let's go ahead and go over the format for today's class. So we're doing 3 8-minute AMRAPs. And what an AMRAP stands for is as many reps or rounds as possible. In this instance, it's as many rounds as possible. Each section deals with a specific part of the body. So our first 8-minute AMRAP is going to be a lower body plus core. So we've got 2 lower body exercises for a specific amount of reps. And then we move to a core exercise. The beauty of AMRAP is you can go as hard or as light as you want. If you need to take rest, take it whenever you need it. We'll run through the first round together, and then I'll set y'all off on your own, go at your own pace. And then that's about it. Our second AMRAP is upper body plus core. And then our third one is an 8-minute Metcon finisher. Metcon stands for metabolic conditioning. It's going to be moves that get our heart rate through the roof so that we finish nice and strong. So with that said, let's go over these first 3 exercises that we're going to be doing. Then I'll start the clock and we'll get into it. So first one, if you've got a dumbbell or backpack or kettlebell, that'd be great for this. You're going to be holding the implement at chest level. We call this a goblet hold. I want you stepping out for a lateral lunge. Make sure the toe stays pointed forwards. Sink down, come back up, and then you're going to sweep behind for a curtsy. That's 1. We're going for 8 on each leg. So stay on the same side until you get 8 of those that combo move done. And then we're going to switch to a second exercise, which is a staggered stance RDL to row. So 1 foot is forward, 1 foot is back. I've got most of the weight on the front foot. Knee is soft on that front foot. I'm going to drive my hips back. In the bottom, I'm going to row. If you've only got 1 dumbbell that you're using, just do it on the opposite leg, and then you'll switch it up when you come around and do the other side. So we're doing 8 on each side with that. And then last but not least, we're finishing with a front plank pull through. So if you've got weights, take your weights and put them on either side of you. You're going to be in a high plank position. Glutes are squeezed, core is tight. We're going to reach behind and we're going to thread it over. You really only need 1 weight for this. I just had 2. It's definitely better to only use 1. And so we're doing these pull throughs until we get 10 on each side. If you need to, go from the knees. That's going to shorten that lever, make it a little easier. All right, y'all, that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're starting with that lateral lunge to curtsy lunge. Go ahead and pull it up. If you've got bands, they can be used as well. I want you just standing on 1 as you reach out and then behind you. And that's going to keep some tension on those legs. All right, y'all, we're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin. Stepping out to the side, driving up, sweeping behind. That's 1. We're going for 8. There's 3. You can reset in between if you need to, or you can sink straight through like so. There's 5. Stay with it, y'all. Drive that floor away from you on that lateral lunge. You got 1 more. Perfect. Same thing on the other side. Stepping it out, driving up, stepping behind. Don't feel like you have to stick to the 8 reps. If the weight you're using is definitely a little heavier than you anticipated it being, drop the reps a little bit. Stay with it, y'all. I got 6. Last one. Perfect. Then if you've got 2 weights the same size, you can use them together. If you've only got 1 of the same weight, then you're going to be in the opposite hand. We're going hinge, row, bring it back up. Squeeze that glute at the top. Hinge, row, squeeze that shoulder blade when you pull it up. We're going 8 here as well. Most of the weight is on that front foot. Really sitting back into that heel of that front foot. Feel that tension built up in those hamstrings. Get them screaming at you. Once you've got 8 done, switch it to the other side. The other arm can come out for balance. It can be by your side. If you're doing that single arm, whatever you prefer. Just make sure when you're doing that row, you're trying to get that upper body as close to parallel with the floor as you can. Stay with it, y'all. Once you've got that one done, we're keeping one of them. If you're using those dumbbells. And if you don't, if you have the bands, I want you just to act like you've got a weight. Even having no weight is going to challenge you with this one. And then we're getting into that front plank position. Feet are hip width apart. Hands are shoulder width apart. Squeezing the glutes, keeping the core tight. I'm reaching underneath, pulling it over. Hand comes down, reaching over underneath, pulling it across my body. 10 on each side. Your key here when you're doing these, no matter if you're from the knees or from the feet, is you want to stay as tight as you can with your core and resist any rotation with your body. Your body's really going to try to cheat on this and rotate when you go to pull. We want to resist that rotation as much as possible. Stay with it, y'all. Hopefully you're starting to break a sweat like I am. We got 3.5 minutes to go here. Hopefully we can get a second round through. Stay strong, y'all. Stay nice and tight with those abdominals. Of course, rest when you need it. Be sure to grab some water before you get back into the next round. Y'all are doing great. All right, we're going back in. And remember that first exercise is that lateral lunge to curtsy. Try to sink that butt down as deep as you can. And like I was saying earlier, if you need to cut the reps a little bit to make sure you get both sides done, by all means do that. Stay strong, y'all. We got 1:45 left. Remember that second exercise is that staggered stance Romanian deadlift to row. Focus on feeling the hamstring stretch. When you go to push those hips back, keep your chest up so that the back stays flat. Give me that row and then bring it back up. 8 per side. Final minute. Start thinking about how you can get even on both sides. If you're caught in the middle of one of these single leg ones, maybe cut the reps a little short of the target just to make sure we can stay even. We don't want to be getting more reps with one side than the other. That's how we get an imbalance over time. No bueno. All right, y'all, final 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Good job, y'all. Shake it out. Grab some water. Slow that breathing down. We got 2 minutes to rest before we move to our upper body plus core AMRAP. Y'all are doing awesome. I know you want more though. Don't you worry, we're getting there. And if you want to make good use of this rest time, stay active, pace around the space that you have. Maybe those RDLs got those hamstrings feeling nice and tight. Maybe you want to hit a little stretch in between rounds. You got 60 more seconds. We're moving to our upper body plus core. First exercise here, we're following the same format, is going to be a half kneeling halo. So make sure the floor you've got going is soft. I've got a carpet here, of course, and I've also got a mat. So for me, I'm probably going to double my mat up, give me a little bit of cushion underneath that knee. For this halo, we are going to be in this half kneeling position, back knees at 90 degrees, front knees at 90 degrees. I want to keep my core nice and tight, and I want to lock my pelvis in by squeezing this glute of the back and down leg. From there, I'm going to grab my weight, whether it's a dumbbell or a kettlebell or even a weighted backpack. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace a circle around my head, but only thing that's moving are my arms. Okay, so this is a big time core plus shoulder exercise. As I come around, my rib cage is going to want to flare upwards. Don't let it. We're doing 10 one direction, switching legs, 10 the other. All right, y'all. Once we get that done, we're going to pop it up and we're going to do a row. So we're going to push our hips back. We're going to pull one arm up while we row with the other. If you just got one dumbbell, you're giving me 12 of these with just the one. So those are the first two. I'll show you the third when we get to it. Go ahead and get in that half kneeling position. 3, 2, 1. Grab your weight. Lock that leg in. Keep the core nice and tight. And we're tracing a circle around our head, almost like we have a necklace. And we're tracing its path. Go slow here, try not to knock yourself in the head. Avoid pushing your head forward though, and having that forward head posture. We want the chin to stay nice and tucked. All right, we're going 10 per side. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Put that down. Switch sides, both with the direction that we're bringing the weight. as well as our stance with our leg. Squeeze that back glute, core stays tight. We're tracing the circle the other way. Remember to breathe here. Once you've got 10, catch your breath real quick, work your way up to standing. If you need some water, grab it. And then we're moving to that row. This isn't just any ordinary row. If you've got 2 different dumbbells and they're the same weight, then you're in the perfect situation to do this one. Even if you had one light and one heavy, you could hold the heavy one up. We call these bat wing rows because it resembles a wing. And then we're rowing with the other arm. So if you had 2 heavy ones, or 1 heavy one, you could switch and have that one being held up the whole time. Otherwise, if you've got 2 of the same weight, you're coming with me. We're pushing those hips back. We're pulling one up, and we're rowing 12 times with the other. Squeeze that shoulder blade together. Keep those hips pushed back. These are great because we need all the love for the back as we can get. We don't get enough of it. Too much sitting these days. All right. Once you've got 12 on one side, come on up, reset, drive those hips back. The one you were rowing with is now the bat wing one. You're pulling it up and holding it as high as you can. And then we're going rowing on the other side. Remember, focus on your breathing here. Inhale on the way down. Exhale as you pull up. Once you've got those 12 on each arm done, or all together, then we're moving to our last core exercise, which is a side plank reach through. No weight, no equipment here. Your body weight will be enough. You're going to come up into either a side plank or from the knees, or a side plank from the feet. Arm comes up towards the ceiling, hips stay high, and I'm going to take my arm and thread it through. We're going 8 on each side here. So start whenever you're ready. Keep those abs nice and tight. Rotate down. Bring it back up towards the ceiling. And we're switching around. I said you've got 2 options here. From the knees, it's going to shorten that lever, make it a bit easier. Not easy at all, but just easier than going from the feet. Stay with it, y'all. We got 3.5 minutes to go here. I know you're huffing and puffing. Keep pushing yourselves. Once you've got your 8 on each side, that's 1 round. Grab some water if you need it. Slow that breathing down. Big inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Slow that heart rate down. All right, y'all, just over 2 minutes to go. So if you're coming with me, we're getting back into that halo, half kneeling halo. Remember, we're working on shoulder endurance here, as well as the ability of the abdominals to brace ourselves and prevent excess movement through the upper body. Remember, 10 each direction. Remember, when you're switching to that other direction, make sure you switch up the orientation of which leg is kneeling. Keep that back glute activated. That's your secret to staying stable. Stay with it, y'all. Less than 60 seconds to go. Since we're at about the 30-second mark, I'm gonna just use one dumbbell this time to do my rows, just so I don't get caught in between like I was saying earlier. Pulling up, squeezing those shoulder blades together. 15 seconds to go. And we got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Nicely done, y'all. Another 2 minutes. Walk it off a little bit. Grab some water. Slow that breathing down. Congratulations, y'all. We got 2 of these AMRAPs down. We only got 1 to go. All right, y'all, as you finish catching your breath and resting for another minute 15, let's go over this final metabolic conditioning finisher. The whole goal here is to get the whole body involved, and we're going to keep it easy, 10, 20, 30 reps on these 3 moves. So the first is 10, second is 20, third is 30. You're wondering what the heck you're gonna be doing for 30 reps. I'll show you in just a second. You're gonna take your dumbbell or your weighted implement, backpack, or even your bands, if that's what you're using. You're gonna step on them and hold them here. We're doing a thruster, which is a squat to press. Squat down, make sure you push the knees out, and then you're pressing over your head. We're doing 10 of those. Then our second move is gonna be using either a dumbbell or a backpack to complete a dumbbell swing. And this can even be done body weight too, if you just don't happen to have a backpack or a dumbbell or a kettlebell. Any 3 of those will work. You're using the dumbbell, which most of y'all probably are, once you're grabbing it on either end of the head of the dumbbell. And then we're doing swings. I want you to push your hips back, thrust up. My arms are not doing anything. They're simply just holding. Imagine them as hooks. The motion of the weight is all coming from my hips. Make sure you're not coming up on your toes when you go to hip hinge and push back forward. Keep your feet rooted into the floor. 20 of those, and then our last move is body weight. We are going 30 skaters. So you're hopping, floating that leg. The more distance you can cover, the better. Lower impact is going to be step and tap. Step and tap. Don't lunge with it though. But that is it. So, starting with our thrusters, grab your weight. We're going in 3, 2, 1, go. Squat down, Use the power of your legs to press up over your head. 10 of these. Make sure the heels are staying on the floor when you squat. I think a lot of people discount how much help your legs can give you. So really drive that floor away from you on that way up. Once you've got that done, you're moving to the 20 dumbbell, kettlebell, or backpack swings. We're grabbing that dumbbell by the end. You've got these adjustable ones like I do. Word to the wise, make sure those collars are cranked down. And then we're hips back, driving through the floor, pushing our hips forward, squeezing the glutes at the top. If you get the side view of me, I want to get my upper body at about a 45-degree angle with the floor. Stay tight underneath your lats. It's where your armpits are. That's going to prevent the weight from getting too far away from you and pulling you. Once you've got 20 of those, weights coming down, make sure you've got some space to do these skaters. 15 on each side, 30 all together. Get those arms moving too. If you need to stop halfway in between and break it up at like 15, shake those legs out. Definitely do that. That's our first true equipment boot camp. So if those legs aren't tired by now, whew, props to you. Because I know mine are. Once you get through one full round, give yourself a clap on the back, grab some water, reset yourself before you hop back in. We're only at 3 minutes down, so we got 5 to go here. Don't burn out on me too fast. All right, y'all. Remember our 3 moves here. Thrusters, 10. That's our squat to press. 20 of those swings with whatever implement we have. And then 30 of those skaters, 15 on each side. Remember, for the stance for these, feet are just outside of shoulder width. Toes are ever so slightly pointed outwards. Almost forgot which one I finished off on. Come on, y'all, finish strong. Final 4 minutes to go here. You made it this far, don't let up now. The end is near. Remember, take breaks whenever you need them. That's your body telling you to give it just a little bit of rest. Three minutes to go. Home stretch, y'all. Give it everything you got. Remember, we can just turn to steps and taps here. If those legs are screaming at you, or that balance isn't feeling like it normally does. Otherwise, you can turn it up, cover as much distance as you can. Final 2 minutes. Shake those legs out whenever you need to. I know y'all are feeling it. Push through that little voice in your head that's telling you to stop. You got 90 seconds to go here. That is it. Final minute and a half. Final 60 seconds. Come on, y'all, finish strong. Who's gonna win? You or the clock? Make your mind up now. We got 45 seconds to go. "30 seconds. Wherever you're at now, see how many more reps you can get in these last 20 seconds. And we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Good job, y'all. Woo. All right, don't just stay still. Walk it out a little bit. Pace around whatever space you've got. Control that breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Good work today, y'all. I know coming off a bunch of body weight workouts, if y'all have been doing a lot with us, this is a far departure from that. So I'm glad y'all were able to join today. We're gonna do a couple stretches to finish off. I still want you pacing around and catching your breath real quick though. Grab water if you need it. And then when you're ready, I want you to bring it on down to the floor. We're gonna keep those legs out in front of us, knees straight. We're gonna do a good old seated hamstring stretch, reach for the toes. If your quads can, tighten them to push your knees into the floor, and you're gonna get even better of a stretch on those hamstrings on the back side of the leg. All right, then come on out of that. I want you to lay back. We're gonna bring one ankle over the opposite knee, doesn't matter which side. We're gonna take our hands, we're gonna pull from behind the knee. Not over top of the knee, behind the knee. Relax the head. You should be feeling that stretch in the piriformis muscle. That's that deep hip muscle that gets tight from us sitting a lot. And then just try to relax. And then let's slowly come out of that. Reverse to the other side. Grab from underneath the knee and then pull it up towards you. If you're like me and you're tight as all get out, you may not even need to pull it up. Just getting your hands underneath might be enough. And I know everybody's a little different. So do what works for you and gives you that slightly uncomfortable stretch. All right, y'all, come on up to that seated position. Now we're gonna do a glute stretch. Bring one foot over the other, or one leg over the other, one leg stays straight. Then we're gonna hug that knee. This is our last leg stretch, and then we'll hop up and we'll do 2 upper body, and then we will be done. All right, y'all, switch legs. Couple more seconds here, and we're going to work our way up to standing. We'll finish with a rear delt and then a chest stretch. All right, y'all, relax. Work your way up to standing. Once you're up, we're going to cross one arm over the other, grab from above the elbow, pull it across our chest. We're getting that rear delt, which is that rear shoulder muscle right here. And we should also be getting a little bit between the shoulder blades here. Couple more seconds. We're going to switch it up. All right. Opposite arm across. Pull, pull, pull. Couple more seconds, and then we're going to move to our last one, which is a behind the back chest stretch. I want you to take your hands. We're going to grab them behind our back and push down. The straighter you can get your arms, the more enhanced that stretch is going to be. Alternatively, you can also bring the palms together. And then the last thing you can do to make it more enhanced is to bring the arms up. And then last but not least, let's forward fold. So push those hips back. On 3, 2, 1, I want you to let your hands go and then just let them dangle. And then come on up. And that is it for our first equipment bootcamp class. Thank you all so much for coming. Hopefully I didn't beat you up too bad. I think I beat myself up pretty bad, but I appreciate y'all coming today. Remember, me and Joe are gonna be alternating who teaches this, so he'll be teaching y'all next week. I'll be back the week after that.